Most business owners, especially in the network marketing space or affiliate marketing space or digital entrepreneur space or affiliate market or internet marketing space, they have their business ass backwards. What do I mean by that? Can anyone guess what I mean by most business owners having their business ass backwards? Now, if you're a traditional business owner, that you own a store location or you own a restaurant or you're a realtor, this still applies to you, but we see it more in the online world, in the network marketing world. Can anybody guess what I'm talking about when I say that most business owners, probably 98% of them, have their business ass backwards? Can anybody guess in the comments? Well, if you thought that I meant they focus all of their attention on the how-tos, the technical, the minor details and micro details inside of their business, like auto shipments and generating traffic, writing emails, all of the different things that you do as an online entrepreneur to make a successful business, they're thinking they need to put those things first, not really understanding and fully grasping the true power of what it is that makes them successful. So they're really doing things in an impossible manner. They're trying to put this, and I was trying to find a picture that had a man and a woman. Sorry, ladies. But they're pushing this almost impossible size boulder up a mountain to success, and they're never actually getting there because it's impossible, because they've put their business ass backwards. Everything that we do inside of our life, but obviously what we're talking about here today is mental. Does everybody get that? Does everybody appreciate that whether we are trying to we're trying to lose weight, or if we're trying to quit smoking, or if we're working towards building a business online, or if we're starting a new store location, if we're branching out to a different franchise, all of these different things, does everybody understand that it's 100% mental? Now, of course, you can't just sit at home and be mental and think about things all day and not put any action behind it, not make any decisions, not do any work. Of course, that's common sense, but it is 100% mental. I used to hear a lot of people, I don't really listen to a lot of people anymore, only a select few, but people used to always talk about success as 70% mental, or 80% mental, or 90% mental, and 10% effort, or whatever. Where with me, it's 100% mental. And you just think about in your life right now, what is it that, let's say that you are someone that is building an online business and you have to write an email, generate traffic, and put people through your sales funnel to make them an offer, to make a sale, to make money, right? Those mechanics and how-tos are given. But what is it that actually fuels all of that? What is it that drives you to actually clear the space in your head to follow through and start the actions that you need to do? And that is the mental game, right? Everything that goes on between our ears is the key holder, so to speak. Has anybody seen the movies The Matrix, when they have to find the key holder, right? The key bearer, the one who bears the keys. In order to break through to that next level, whatever that means for you, you have to get crystal clear on what goes on between the ears. Now, you may have heard some of this stuff before. You may have even done work with a coach before. You may have even put time here before. But I can assure you that even someone who makes 7 or 8 figures, who is on this, maybe you've built them up on this pedestal, they still every day must work on the mental game, because we're human beings, we're emotional, we do crazy stuff, and we work in peak and valleys, right? It's a roller coaster. So what we have to do as successful entrepreneurs is minimize those crazy spikes, so it's more of a baseline towards success. You follow me? rather than writing this. And how many people in here agree that having an online business or having a business in general can be a lot of this: ups and downs, peaks and valleys, extreme highs of money, extreme lows of failure? Give me a one below if you relate to that, if you follow along with that. So what we got to do, along with different other things inside of our mental game, is we have to make sure they're more like this. So here's us, and here's our day-to-day workflow, and here's the lifestyle that we ultimately desire. So rather than it be this crazy roller coaster all the way around, it's more of a controlled, comfortable, but still with a little bit of pressure, because we need pressure in order to get to our results. And where we see a lot of people fail here, gang, is they are too lopsided on one of these ways. They're too always focusing on the successes and never experiencing any lows and never really learning. Or they're too experienced in the lows, never see any highs, and they're always down and they end up quitting. It's on us as successful entrepreneurs to get our mental game 100% right, so we're able to ride a more comfortable and productive, cohesive journey, still having some pressure, obviously, still having wins for sure and celebrating them, but rather than being all over the map, we just want to be constantly, oh, we have a setback, okay, it's time to move. Oh, we have a setback, oh, it's time to move. And have this more focused, mentally strong way to get there. Does that sound good for everyone? And that's why the first couple sessions here with Layla and I, that's why we're talking about, we're adding in sessions where you're getting free money, free sessions. Because when we first were talking about the group mentoring stuff, all we thought about was what you saw on the sales page or the information page that gave you access to this, was talking about the 6 sessions that were more business detail driven, marketing driven, sales funnel driven, all of those different things, which is awesome. Yeah, that's great. But when we were mapping this stuff out, we thought, anybody get any of these $1 million bills? Who wants to make one of these? Has anybody made $1 million before inside the group? And who wants to make $1 million? Obviously not this one, but a real one. Put a 1 below. So when we were going through this outline, we thought we have to make sure that there's there's a sufficient amount of training, exercises, micro commitments, and new micro routines started, so when we get to the how-tos, the funnels, the copy, all of the different business activities to grow your business and make you more money, you mentally cleared out all the congestion, so you're able to take the action necessary. I see this time and time again with people inside of our business, both directly and indirectly, where they've got all the tools, they've got all the businesses, they've got all the training, but yet they're not making the 10,000, 20,000, 100,000 a month income that they're after. Why is that? Because their drain is stuck. What? Their drain is stuck? Last week I had a really, really powerful conversation with my dad, who I love dearly. He's my most favorite man in the world, my hero. I look up to him more than any man or person I've ever done in my life. He showed my sister and I how to be a family person, how to provide for them, how to act in the world, how to be a gentleman, how to be an entrepreneur, all these amazing things. I love him so much. But we were talking about going from, kicking yourself in the ass enough to get back in from a funk, right? Because no matter if you're someone that has never succeeded, or if you're someone who's had success and then went through a valley, we do come across these times in our life where we get in these funks, so to speak, and we need to get out of them. So I was talking to my dad on the phone, and I don't know why it came to me, but I used the analogy of, right now, he had a clogged drain. If you think about your shower or your bath at home, and if there's someone in the house that has very long hair, or if you have kids who are older and they all have long hair, if you have girls, the sink or the drain can get clogged. Now, day to day, you can continue to use that bath and that shower because the family needs to use that shower and that bath to get clean to go about their day, right? But more and more, yes, a little bit of water is getting through, but more and more, as more people use it, it gets more clogged and it gets more clogged and it gets more clogged until one day something breaks and you can no longer be used. It's the same thing in our life. If we don't fix our mental game, or if we get into a little bit of a fog, a little bit of a haze, a little bit of a rut, so to speak, a scoring drought, if we were in the sporting world, we can continue to do our business, we can continue to have our relationships, we can continue to do what we do in the day, but we're not fully playing full out. We're not fully engaged. We're not fully listening. We're not fully speaking. We're not fully active. We're not fully in our life participating. We're kind of like the clogged drain. We're still doing things and we're still getting by and we're still kidding ourselves on that we are being productive in our business to be successful. But each and every day, less and less and less is happening. So what you must do is bring that industrial drain in with the snake or the plunger and get it clear so 100% of your energy is flowing through into your life and you don't have that issue. And how do you do that? Because at the end of the day, I can't do it. Someone else can't do it for you. You have to do it yourself, and it's from the mental energy. It's from the mental energy to break yourself out of the funk. Now, I'm not saying you're in depression right now. I'm not saying that you're in a funk. I don't know any of that. All I know is you probably can be playing more full out in areas of your life because you have a clogged drain, a little bit or a big bit, when it comes to something mental. So the first two sessions that Layla and I are going to be focusing on here are going to be all about the mental game, for the specific reason that if you don't get this right, none of the other stuff that we share is going to matter. It's just the way it is. It's not going to matter. So today's topics we are going to be focusing on, we are what we focus on. We're going to be shedding some light into exercises and techniques to align what it is that we want specifically with our focus. We're going to talk about setting a new standard of living, a new baseline for what you accept in your life. We're going to talk about harnessing the power of decision. And we're going to talk about, shed some light on creating our ultimate destiny. Now, has anybody in the group right now had any mentoring or read any training or read a book or gone to a seminar or shed any light on any of these subjects before? Give me a 1 below in the on the thread. Comment was marked as spam. I don't know what is going on with Facebook right now. All I'm asking you guys to do is put ones, and Facebook's jumping in and said it's been marked as spam. I won't do the ones anymore, okay? Don't be commenting ones and twos anymore. Facebook's having a bit of a connection today. So if you've ever done any stuff with Tony Robbins, he always talks about where focus goes, energy flows. Where focus goes, energy flows. Now, even if you're someone like Layla and I who've made multiple $1 million online, we've taught thousands of people all over the world, we've had this amazing lifestyle, we can still sometimes be focusing our energy in the wrong place. And lo and behold, we get more of the same thing. If you think about a race car driver, when race car drivers, men and women who are driving at 100, 150, 200 miles an hour, some pretty ridiculous speeds, they are taught that when they go into, if they do get in a situation where they crash or they're about to crash, where do you think they're told? If they're spinning, if they're flying into something out of control, where do you think they're told to look and to focus? Into the open area, rather than focusing on the pole that they could hit, rather than focusing on the barrier that they could slam into. Because at that high speed, all the split second they see something that they focus on, their hands immediately guide towards it. Same concept that if you've ever done any sort of tightrope walking or walking on narrow bridges or parts with a hiking group, and they tell you, please do not look down, look ahead, look at least 15 to 20 feet ahead of you. Don't look down at your immediate surroundings when you're walking. Same with driving. If you've done any sort of educated driving or accelerated driving or evasive driving training, one of the first things they tell you about or where to look when you're driving is, rather than looking at your hood and 5 to 10 feet in front of you, you should be looking 40 to 50, 60 yards ahead of you, because when you're looking ahead, that where you're focusing, that's where you're going. So if you're walking on a very narrow bridge, if you're walking on a tightrope, which I don't know if anybody's going to be tightrope walking, everything that we do, it's where we, or everything that we move towards and everything that comes into our life is from our focus. So if you are someone who's actively wanting to build a bigger, better, more robust lifestyle, and you've written these things down and you tell yourself these things, but you're not focusing on that, where you focus daily is on the lack of this, if where you focus daily is on the lack of this, if where you focus daily is on the negative from someone else, yeah, Chrissy, for sure, you can, we'll do a Q&A at the end, probably the last 5 to 10 minutes. So what to do is definitely mark a question that you have down, or you can put it in the comments right away, and then at the end we'll go through and we'll read out any of the questions while we're going through. So all of our things that we bring into our life is what we focus on. Everybody agree with that? Give me a focus. Please type focus in the comments below if you at least are listening to what I'm saying and you believe what I'm saying. Maybe you aren't practicing this daily. Maybe you aren't someone who's making a conscious decision to channel their focus on specific things that they want already, but at least give me, if you do believe it's true and you are going to take a more conscious effort into what you focus on, please put focus in on the comments, because it doesn't matter what area of our life that we are looking at and talking about. It always happens. The person who's depressed and maybe overweight, so they're self-conscious, and they focus on the negative things in their life, with their body, with their health, what do they get more of? The same thing. People who are at work and they have co-workers around them all the time that are talking negative crap and they're trying to lift themselves out. If they focus on the stuff at work, what do they get more of? So in your day-to-day life, if you are someone that something shitty happens in the day and you say, typical, do you know that that is creating more of that in your life? If you are someone that bashes their toe in the morning and then is a little bit late to work because of something external that you couldn't control, and then when you're talking to your co-workers, you're complaining about your negative morning, and you say something like, oh, that's just routine for me, or that happens all the time, or that's typical of me, it's me, so that's what that's how those things pan out. Do you understand that what you're doing there is you're writing the future of those things to happen again, because that is what you're focusing on? Everything that we do in our life can be changed in an instant. Do you believe that? Do you believe that everything in our life can be changed in a split second? Do you believe it? I do, for sure. How is that done? By decisions. By decision. Having the power and authenticity within yourself to decide that you're going to do something will set you free. When you decide to make your business a success, when you decide to move to a different country, when you decide to do all these things that most people would think you're crazy for saying out loud, when you decide to do it, guess what happens? Your focus, your mental focus, your direct awareness start to focus on things that help you achieve that decision. It's funny, coming around January right now, people talk about in the new year they're getting healthier. And I see these posts on Facebook in my news feed and I crack up because it's people saying, tomorrow I'm trying to not. Tomorrow I'm giving up XYZ. I'm trying to stay away from XYZ. And I don't have the time or energy or desire to comment, but in my head I briefly chuckle because I know that they are toe in the water commitment. They haven't made the decision to do it. They tell themselves they want it. They may even do want it, but they haven't come full circle enough to draw a line in the sand and actually decide to do it. Now, there's three decisions that we make every single day that control our entire life, our entire destiny. And these three things are extremely important for everybody to create awareness on, write down, and every single day think about what it is that we are focusing on, what those things that we focus on mean to us, to you, and then our decision about what to do to create the results that we desire. If you think about every single thing that goes on in our day-to-day life, whether you're still in a job or still in a business you don't want, whether you're someone that works full-time from home, whether you have your own business that you work in full-time, every single day that these different things come up inside of our entrepreneurial life, these challenges, these obstacles, these things that we have to move through, inside of those situations, there's person A and there's person B. Now, person A is someone who has the car, the dream car, they have the dream house, they have the lifestyle. Person B is the person who doesn't have any of these things, but both person A and B have the same obstacles, maybe on a smaller scale, happen to them every single day. Person A chooses to focus on something that serves them. Person B chooses to focus on the negative, something that doesn't serve them. Really great story. A couple years, well, not couple, maybe 5 or 6 years ago now, Layla and I were in Chicago, I think it was, at an Empower Network event, speaking on stage. We were on for about 45 minutes, killed it, told stories, gave value, crushed it. We came off stage, people were crying. Was there anybody there in this group that was at that event? We come off stage, it's like, we get backstage, we come out front, we're talking to people, and an elderly lady, maybe in her late 60s, older lady, shouldn't say elderly because my dad's in his late 60s, older lady, comes over and she says, and she's in tears, you can see that she's been truly impacted by this, and she says, Toby and Layla, I have to thank you so much. And you could see just this relief, like she looked as if she had had the worst paper round ever, that she'd been worked hard her entire life, and today something had just been relieved from her shoulders. And it was very interesting. You guys still with me? I don't see any movement down below. You guys still with me? Give me yeps. Yep, still with you in on the story. And something had been released for her, and she said, Toby and Layla, I have been studying personal development for 20 years, for positive thinking for 20 years, and it's never worked for me until today. She believed that while doing these positive thinking, by living a different way, that all this bad stuff and negative things and obstacles in her life and challenges weren't going to happen to her, because she did positive thinking, aligned her focus, all of this, higher level awareness and thinking stuff. And then she finally realized that it's not that these things aren't going to happen to her. It's just she now decides how these things affect her. So if your car breaks down, you're late for this, you missed this, and yada, 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 all these different things, that's great. But it's what you decide, how you're going to feel about them, what you're going to focus on in that moment, and how you're going to let it affect you. Everybody follow that? This is, I know maybe a lot of you are saying this is maybe New Age voodoo, like theory stuff or mental stuff, and that's what we're talking about. We're talking about mental stuff, but fully please understand that unless your mind is airtight, unless you are rock solid, unless you are bulletproof, you are not going to get the results that you want in your business, because you're mentally not able to clear out the funk. And when you sit down or stand up like I am right now at your desk, you're not able to block out all the shit that's going on in your life, all the doubts, all the other stuff that doesn't serve you. You're not able to block that out. So you're not able to take 100% dedicated, focused action inside of your business. Now, whether you're someone that owns a real estate business or a restaurant or a bead store or your online network marketer or whatever, you need to attack your business with 100% certainty and clarity and belief in order to make it grow.